criteria: problem relevance, technical quality, sovereignty and data protection, the quality of the presentation and the demo, and then a last criteria about the innovation, the creativity of the solution that is proposed. And now I will welcome to the floor the first team, AI for Social. So, ready? You have 5 minutes.
Welcome, I'm Evelyn. Together with my colleagues Jean and Nordine, I will be presenting the use cases for the Federal Public Service of Social Security. Imagine waiting months for a decision that determines your income, mobility, or professional future. For many citizens, that is the reality today. At our Federal Public Service, we work with two very different publics, people with disabilities and artists, but our services face the same challenges. Long waiting times, confusion because we have to motivate decisions clearly. We have hundreds of pages we have to treat to make an informed decision, and there is subjectivity in human decisions. What matters most in our public service interactions with citizens is that we can provide clear, fair, equitable decisions so they can benefit from social rights as soon as possible. To meet those expectations, we need to work smarter. Our solution is targeted, reliable AI support. Today, we are here to present a modular AI tool, which will analyze and summarize large PDF files into structured data, so we can guide our evaluators through a clear framework with all data necessary to speed up decision processes. So our experts can focus on what matters most, evaluating a person, not digging through documents for clues. With our approach, we will unify the pre-analysis, reducing inequities for citizens. We will have developed our own tool so we can stay in full control of data and decision quality. Nordine and Jean identified the same bottleneck in their services, having to sort through thousands of pages of text. So we built one shared, flexible and modular solution so that we can use our limited resources wisely. They will show you how it works. Jean will present the first use case.
Can you not launch the video directly? So, yeah, I'm going to present the first use case, which is assisting in the evaluation of loss of autonomy of a disabled person. So, can we start again the video? I don't know, So, this is a demo. So, our input is a document that contains all the medical reports of a patient, so we load it. And what we want from this document is to identify all the pathologies, disease, injuries the patient is affected with. So using NLP techniques, we're gonna detect and map these medical concepts into an international classification system. And this is a view from the physician perspective where you can see all the pathologies the NLP pipeline found. So the physician has access to the context where these findings come from and has to validate or decline them for further going on. It can also add pathology that could have been missed in the pipeline. Here we have an extra step to add some clinical context of the patient. Again, the physician must validate or decline the information that comes here and can add additional information he might find useful for the evaluation of the patient. Then we're gonna interact with a medically enriched LLM to assess the functional impact of these pathologies on the daily life of the patient. And we assess this impact on 6 domains: mobility, ability to eat, ability to clean, to wash yourself, ability to live without surveillance, and ability to socialize. So The system guides the physician with a number of points, but the physician keeps the control of the number of points to give to the patient within each of these domains. And finally, we generate a structure evaluation report, including a well-justified explanation of the decision, which is then communicated to the citizen. This was our first use case. Nordin will now speak about a second use case.
For the second use case, with the same modular solution, we support a totally different use case, artistic certificates. In this case, we can accelerate the process to allow citizens to benefit faster to their rights. We load artistic evidences, and we are able to chat with the document and extract key insights. During this hackathon, we demonstrated the value of integrated sovereign LLMs into our work to serve citizens and the administration. Thanks a lot for your attention. Please, any question?
As the jury, one or two questions? Christine?
Because we need the time to fill this.
Yeah. With the mic.
Yeah, we need the time to I didn't have any question. I just need the time to fill the report. But if any one of you want to raise any issue. Or
Okay.
Can you say very quickly, a bit technically, what's going on behind, which LLM you use, what's your technical challenge, maybe something about the risks also to use such a technology?
So we use BioMistral for the medically enriched LLM. And what we could observe in 2 days of interacting with local LLM is that using one or another LLM could give different results. So I think the main challenge here is to develop an evaluation framework to know when the LLM is going to give a right answer or not. And yeah.
haven't evaluated so far. No.
We just had 2 days with these LLMs.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So a big applause to you. And we welcome on stage Rag Dogs. Je change. Okay. So we will change. So we need an HDMI in order to present. So team number 3 is Faye. I don't know how to pronounce it. Faye? Fate? Ah oui. Oui. Ok.
Oui, ils arrivent avec nous, mais c'est pas pareil.
Just testing. Okay, all right.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so hello everyone. I'm here to introduce what the FED team has been doing for the hackathon, the FED team from FODFIN. We decided to tackle quite a big challenge for us. It was the idea to help citizens and business and also the civil servants to use, to find the correct information in the legal and fiscal documents. So there is an application at FODFIN that is called FiscoNet Plus that is used by 62,000 users a month. And it's really a nightmare to use because the interface is not that user-friendly. It's also hard to find the correct document. The way to find the user search engine, you have to know the specific keywords or the specific words in the lawyer and legal vocabulary. And it's quite a good challenge. Just to show you how it looks, it's like this. If you want to find the right document, you really have to navigate, knowing exactly what you are looking for. And if you are lucky and you found it quite fast, that means you are very lucky. Otherwise, you have to navigate a lot of hours just to find the right document, but you have a lot of complexity in it. That's why it was a nice challenge, because we talk about 300,000 different documents. We talk about helping 2 million people, 2 million visits on this website. A lot of things change in this database of documents, but also a lot of things according to the regions and everything in different languages. So it's really quite a big challenge to handle. Our solution, what we decided to improve FiscoNet was to create FiscoGraph. The idea is to use the GraphRack technology to first of all, understand what the user say with his own word, make it clear as legal term from the AI. The AI can understand that. Then they will find the documents, and with the GraphRack, they will be able to find also relevant documents to that document. And so at the end, you get a clean answer, clear in the language of the user, with also the sources explaining what it does. Just as info, here how the GraphRack looks. So it really have a database, a core of this application that contains 2 million nodes and 2 million relationships of all those documents. And that's really the core of the FiscoGraph. That's what makes it a good AI application, because it understands the relation between all the different documents. To see it in action, I'll let my friend Jens explain.
Yes. I don't know if this thing's on or anything, so... Okay. Nope. There we go. Okay, so I think we can restart the demonstration. Okay, so what we developed is a VAT chatbot where we can have, where we can ask questions directly to an LLM to receive the information directly from the FiscoNet database. So what we developed there is... Yeah, okay. So you have the notes from the relevant documents that you can receive from your question. And we did this with a Quen, and everything related to your question is linked together. So if you ask a question about the VAT, you can get the text changes together. As you can see here from our question, we received Article 37 VAT code from our question. When you click the note, you receive a document preview where you find all the relevant information for your question. How we can use this information is we have the radar, where we can insert from the chat the relevant VAT and compare the versions with each other. So here we can see we have one from 1977 and from 2016. And the articles there, we can see what was modified or what was added in the versioning. What we can do as another solution is we can upload files directly to upload to FiscoNet. We see that a lot of civil servants don't have the time or don't have the patience to fill in the entire form because it's way too much work. So what we created is a system where we can extract metadata from the files and inject them directly into the forms, where we have a confidence scoring to assist the civil servant in filling in the form. There we can see if the confidence is high enough, or if they have to revise the information and upload it directly to FiscoNet.
The main gateway is that you can use it, the core of the GraphRack can be used in a lot of use cases. It can help to speed up the document research, but also help filling the metadata as is provided. But it can go further than that. We can also be able to see the difference between time. We can also use it to train process. We can use it for other process inside FODFIN or also outside, because it's an open source document, and we go very far on that. last slide, very quickly. It saves a lot of time. It's help filling the metadata. It's answer in seconds. You can use your own language to do that. It's internal. It's secure. It's saved. And that's it. If you want more information on a demo, you can find our the link of the website we just showed you, and also our email address. If you want, we can show it to yourself. And thanks a lot for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So it's the third column. So
yeah, sure. Excuse me.
thank you very much. As the jury, some questions?
What I didn't get out of your presentation is really the role of this intermediary graph in the second use case where you fill automatically report. Why is the graph for? You know, and who is using this graph? What is the final user of the graph, and what kind of use is doing for this graph?
So that part was more about, we have 750 new upload every month. That's also where a user, an agent, an internal civil servant have to fill some specific metadata, some keywords, some summary of the document. For now, the current process, it's manual, so it takes a lot of time. The agent don't do it well every time because they are a bit hurried, they want to speed up the thing. And so here you have the data extraction at first. Also we use a graph rag to determine also some information such as the taxonomy of the document, where it should be located inside FiscoNet. And the goal is really how to improve the graph rag long term. We didn't do a picture of the current content of FiscoNet. We're also thinking, how is it going to look long term? How can we add new document inside of that? And make sure that the new documents get the correct metadata, the correct information to fit with what already exists. So we are sure the solution is permanent, long term, and everything.
The biggest complexity is typically that you have indeed like a base law, and then you have a lot of exceptions, changes, etc. Despite that, you ask a question, you get one answer in return. Is the LLM at this stage, or did you find out during the experimenting that it still has struggles to know all the history of all the changes, and how accurate is it?
So we tested that. We actually were lucky because it's one use case we already had to work on, but we focused on RAG. We didn't try graph rag for that. And we saw that indeed for RAG, the complexity of flow was impossible to do because too complex. And that's why the graph rag is a better solution. And we tested that though. We had a lot of very complex TVA questions, that we tested. And honestly, we were impressed by the results. So we know that it's working for something as complex as FiscoNet. So we are sure this solution could work for other document corpus later. But we did test it.
Thank you very much. So we can applaud. Are rag dogs ready? So the second team.
I hope so. Can you remove that?
Can you tell me when I have to launch the video?
Or,
You're going to launch it yourself?
I will launch it actually. Maybe.
You have no audio like this, right? The audio, you need this.
We don't use audio.
Okay, great.
Can you remove that? I think you can keep the mic and speak if you want.
Okay, but I can stand here. It's fine. Okay, let's get started quickly. So we are the rag dogs. So we created an AI assistance for the tax investigators. So let me frame this problem a little bit. So every tax investigation starts with tons of data that the tax investigator has to process. It's a very tedious job. It's like an overwhelming volumes of data. So it's like different types of data. It's spreadsheets, it's emails, it's Word documents, and you name it. And there's no chance for this investigator he can read all this information. And to make it even more complicated, there are multiple languages. It might be English, French, Flemish, or even Chinese documents. And traditional tools doesn't have this capability of handling that. And what is really important is the hidden connections, because traditional RAG, you can just pick the pieces, but it wouldn't make sense because there's the connections in between the documents that is important to finding fraud rings, etc. So that's why we decided to go with Graph RAG, which is a combination of network analysis and traditional RAG. And yeah, we will hear more about this. My team will show a small demo here. Thank you.
Right, so our solution is, the core of our solution is built on top of the knowledge graph, which was built from raw investigation documents. So we extracted entities and relationships from the documents, and we added that to the graph database. We used MemeGraph, which is an open source graph database. And what makes this solution powerful is that the investigators can ask questions in English or any other language, and under the hood, we are actually converting this question to cipher, which is the language used by the graph, to get the answer. And then we are actually augmenting the answer using the answer that was provided. And then the LLM will answer the question without any hallucination.
So here's an additional question an investigator might ask. So the application will generate 4 components. First of all, there's the first and foremost, it's the answer, of course, to its question. Then there is the overview of the evidence that is being used to answer or to generate the answer to the question of the investigator. Then there are some red flags that are being proposed by the tool, which are extracted from the documents. And lastly, there are some suggestions for the investigator for some possible next steps to take. Additionally, the investigator can review the cipher and the vector search components, as well as the sources that were used to answer the question. So the cipher query, and the vector search are in fact combined to create the answer to the question of the answer that is being generated to answer the question of the investigator. And lastly, you can see that within the interface, it is possible for the investigator to open, in fact, the source document that is being used to generate the answer.
So then we also added a visual. Yeah. So we also added a visual feature called MCP Apps, which allows the AI assistant to generate a visual representation of his answers. This makes it easier for the investigator to understand the different structures in the answer and understand how the entities relate to each other.
Yeah, so just to wrap this up now, so you remember the problems we had, and we were able to solve that, and we see a lot of potential with this system. Thank you.
Okay, just on time. Some question of the jury.
What do you foresee, or can you foresee, to reduce the size of the LLMs?
Sorry?
What do you foresee, or can you foresee, to work with LLMs as small as possible?
So, hey, can you hear me? Okay. So we used actually Quint 35 billion parameter, and for the text-to-cipher, we experienced the text-to-cipher model. It was trained for this specific task. It's like 4 billion parameter. So for reasoning, we are using Queen. For text to cipher, we are using a small model.
And I can also add something to this. I have the mic. So we're a little bit obsessed with the smaller models. So when people are looking at bigger models, we are looking at the smaller models. Because if we can make this work on a small computer, then you can imagine the tons of data we can process on a powerful server with those small models. So I think it's so important to start looking at those specialized smaller models.
Again, because you're mixing some kind of graph technology with LLM, I'm not so sure to see the added value of graph again, because you say that you want to detect, you need to put the document in relation in order to detect some fraud, some, you know, but again, you could put all the document in an LLM and say, okay, try to find something which is incoherent, right? What is the help provided by, you know, structuring your document in graph?
Yes, so the value of the graph, imagine you have like thousands of documents, then how you can upload that to the LLM? There is like a limit in the context window. So when you have the graph, you know exactly what are the connections between the documents, the entities extracted from documents, and this is the difference between native or basic RAG and the graph RAG. You have the ability to know the connections, and to detect the fraud actually is the difference between what should happen and what did happen. What is the policies that we need to respect? What is the agreements that we need to follow? And what did happen is like what we have in the transactions. And so having all these documents in the graph allows the LLM to have like a more deep knowledge about what we are trying to solve.
And I would like to add also, so when we are working with smaller models, it's so important that we have storing the data in a format that the LLM can make sense of it. It's no problem using the larger models, but you know, the smaller model needs a good structure so it can kind of retrieve the right data.
Okay. Thank you. And we welcome Level Up on stage. So let's start.
Really? Yes. Hi, everyone. Let's do a quick exercise. Everyone, close your eyes. Close your eyes. YouTube also, close your eyes. Now, imagine you are a captain of a ship. Look ahead! Look ahead! Keep your eyes closed. You have to decide. Now, turn left, turn right, slow down. Decide now. Sorry. You can open your eyes. This is what decision making can feel like as a public servant. Every day we are asked to make decisions on GDPR, NIS2 compliance, data quality assessment, etc., often without full visibility. And in the end, the citizen may pay the price. That's why we created GouvernAI. GouvernAI is a wheel 2.0, our AI first made to navigate complexity. not a replacement of human judgment. It's a navigable system for better decision. Is the core of our system. First, from trusted internal documentation, we built a library of right questions labeled with the help of a base core system and human validation. Then it analyzes documents against that logic. Finally, it generates reports and recommendations to support decision making. We select the best model. We control the data source, and everything runs locally. Rule-based decisions are everywhere, and GouvernAI is generic and adapts to your topic. The results are really clear: safer decision, clear guidance, trusted processes, and faster execution. Let's stop sailing blind. Let's steer with GouvernAI. And now, a practical case use checking a document for GDPR compliance. This is a Level Up crew. Thank you. Thank you. Question?
As the jury, some question? Hans?
Hello. I have a tough time understanding what it actually does. Do you have a document, for example, describing a particular data handling case and can then verify whether that complies with the GDPR, for example? Or is it a policy document that I can compare to what's written in the GDPR? And what exactly are the kind of documents? The problem you describe is real. I have to make a decision about a use case or about an advice or about a document I've written, comparing it to existing legislation. Is it in this sense that it helps me?
You have a lot of document framework about something, and you have to make a decision about this topic. And the system builds a list of questions with label. And when you input a document, it will check all the questions to make a report and recommendation. And so, yeah.
So in fact, you can use a lot of different topics. You just need microphone, please. You can have a lot of different topics, and here we create an architecture that can take the RGPD legislation, but also lectures of physics, and they will create the question, and after they will answer the question, for example, with the lectures, but for the RGPD, the document that we inject is a letter to send to the population, and they will compare how the letter is right with the RGPD regulation. But here is the infrastructure you can use for a lot of different things that you want. You just need the corpus is the base.
Yeah, because the problem I have, if I have to give advice on a particular document or a particular use case, is first of all, I have to know what are the questions I have to ask myself, or what are the questions that I have to pose to the document, and then what are the correct answers if I compare those with the
in fact, this is the point, is that we create the question library, and then based on this library, it's used as a data source to analyze the document. So we have also the control on the data source in a way.
But you have to have an existing set of questions and answers, and then
we generate with the corpus that we embed in with the model, with the system. It generates questions, and based on this, this is used to analyze the document.
If I can allow myself, and that was true already for the first groups, and that might be true also for the successive ones, so just perhaps to improve your presentation next, get the feeling that often you try to improve what a RAC, basic RAC, you put a question, you extract the relevant documents, you enrich the prompt, and you get the answers. You try to improve that, and I think in the previous groups, the graph seems to be a good intermediary to do so, and in your case, you seems to indicate that by providing a first set of what you call the library of questions, you can improve a lot. But the connection is never very clear. It was not clear for me also in the previous talks. It's not clear also in your talk. What is the benefit of having this pre-library with respect to a classical RAG, where you just extract the chunk out of the question and then put it in the prompt and get the final answer? What is the advantage of having this It seems to be a very key and original proposal of your model.
Is that you can target that it's more sensitive and more accurate to the context, in the context. And this is important because there is a lot of different rules and different internal policy. And then you can adapt also to different organizations because each organization have their own internal policy. So you can adapt.
It's to help to reach the context of your question.
To help to accurate.
So you first need to index the questions.
Yeah, and then we have kind of a way to classify all these questions, and we can say, okay, this is more relevant to this context, because depending on the context, sometimes this is data more sensitive in this context, but in another context it's less sensitive, and then you can really accurate the data source.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And the next one is Karamba. That's great, no?
We don't have a video. Okay. We have a live presentation. Did you use this one? Andro. Yes, sure.
Hi, let's start.
Yes. So, hello, we are Karamba, and we tackled university internship assignment problem. So, in Belgium, we have a lot of universities, very good universities, we have very good students. And those good students, the good students, they mainly want to study, right? And the professors, they want to teach. And the university they have a lot of collaborations with companies, and those companies, they mainly want to do meetings, do work, get stuff done, right? That's what they want to do, but in fact, when it comes to Belgium, we also do a lot of paperwork, and we do a lot of calling people, and we are very frustrated at that. Say the student, he doesn't know or she doesn't know where to apply to something, which companies are available, how does she actually do these things, and which companies should they apply to. The teachers, they have to make the connection between the students and the companies, because they know the companies, they know the students, they know the material, so they are asked to make this connection a lot of times. And this is time consuming, it's not a part of the regular job, so they end up doing it at the evening when they should be having dinner with their kids. And the companies, they are also getting frustrated because it's very unclear communication towards them because it's unstructured. And then they end up calling the teachers, they end up calling the students, asking like, hey, why did you assign this person to our company? What are you planning to do? How do we have to do this? What kind of documents do we have to fill? And all that stuff is being done by people who are only half informed on what actually has to happen, and that makes everyone frustrated. And so for that reason, we are here, and we want to give you a solution to this problem. There are already, of course, solutions to this problem that they already are implementing. So you have manual Excel workarounds. That is something that I have seen in many places. So people create Excel files. In those Excel files, they create summaries of the students, of the companies, etc. And then they make pivot tables. They make some functions in those. And that works. It's very flexible. But yeah, it's not really easy, right? Because every year you have to recreate them. You have to do a lot of manual work to get it going. And it's all in the hands of the teacher, mostly, or the administrative people of the university. Then you have now a new trend, vibe-coded applications. So the people, they start vibe coding themselves, or they hire some vibe coder to create something. It works, and then it doesn't. And then you also have offshore outsourcing. I don't know how your experience is with offshore outsourcing. Mine is not very positive. And they also have legacy software, of course, Blackboard, Toledo, whatever. That software is okay for what it does, not great, but the companies, well, they can't log into it because they need to be a student or need to be a teacher. And it's not possible for them to actually log into the same software. And the software is very rigid because it's very old, so it's very hard for them to include this kind of capability. And then we place ourselves also in this grid. We want to create an AI-first agentic automated solution, which would be a full platform accessible to students, teachers, and also companies, in which all these things that we talk about are automated. So we have automated assignment, we have automated mailings to start the internships, we have centralized documentation, and a chatbot to access all of these things. And because we created everything AI first, the chatbot also knows where everything is. Just that the chatbot knows how everything is divided. And so if someone is frustrated with something, he can just ask the chatbot, why did you do this? And you will get a structured answer dependent on if you're a student, a teacher, or a company. Dependent on that, the answer will be lengthy or short. Okay, next slide. And then, yeah, I think we can go to the solution. So I brought my non-AI person who will show you a bit of a demo of what the platform actually looks like.
So we have the platform here. We can log in as an administrator, teacher, or student. As the administrator, you have a lot of rights. You can also ask a lot of questions. You also get a very broad answer also. So if I ask at the chatbot, can you explain the logic behind the matchmaking? Type it. It will search why is logic and will provide a very detailed answer why things happen. It sometimes takes a little bit of time. So it uses
and that's
a lot of things.
Questions?
some questions?
Can you quickly explain what you have implemented technically in the solution? Because we've somewhat missed the core part of the demo, which would help scoring.
Yeah, true. So I talked a bit too long. So we have implemented four different views. So you can log into the system as a teacher, as a student, as an administrator, or as a company. And dependent on which login you use, you will get a different view of the same data set. So students, they just see their own information as well as the company information, but only a shallow view of that, while the administrator will see everything. And also the chatbot is also personalized for each of these four different types of persons. So if a student would ask the same question as the question that Mike just asked, he will not get a response because he doesn't get access to the full view. He does get a response as to what is relevant for a student. Why did he get assigned to something? What does he have to do to register? But he does not get the same access. And so those things are already working. And a student can also say like what he wants to, where he wants to do an internship, etc., etc. And then we also have an optimization algorithm which is implemented, which will do automatically the assignment of the students to the companies. Thank you.
Where do you use AI exactly? Where do you use AI? What do you use?
So
AI for exactly?
we used Cloud Opus 4.6 to develop the whole platform, as many of you did, I think. But then we also saved the context of those agents, and we compacted that information into its essence, such that we can use a framework where we have a doer agent and an explainer agent. So we have a Qwen 3.5, as many of you have. Explainer agent, you ask a question to the explainer, he will pose that question to the doer. The doer will know how everything works, know what kind of role you have, and depending on that, he will choose what information he provides. And then the explainer will reformat that answer to give an answer which is correct to the person asking the question. So for example, also for the security stuff, only the admin is able to perform actions through the agents. So only the admin has the ability to actually access the doer agent. So he can ask a question like, swap these two courses, and then that can be done if he presses accept. And that is something that the doer agent will actually do then.
But you do matchmaking also with AI? Or not?
No, the matchmaking is just an OR algorithm. So we have an OR algorithm, an approximation algorithm, which should be stable up to like 500 students, 1,000 companies, and then it should run in under 10 seconds. And we also developed that algorithm using Claude, but that one is not an LLM because it doesn't make sense to use an LLM for something like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And we will welcome Van den Broele on stage.
It launches itself. It's launches automatically. Yes.
So I don't have to do anything.
No.
And there's audio in it?
No.
Okay. Success.
See.
Kom hier zitten. Nee, dat kan eens.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to present to you our project Subsidy Writer. So over the past few days, we focused on a specific audience, local governments. So when budgets are shrinking, the expectations aren't. So the need for external funding is becoming more and more critical. So with over 200 active funding streams across all governmental levels, there are a lot of possibilities for local governments. Yet, they leave a lot of money on the table. Why? Well, we went and asked them. So one of the first challenges, they said, was time pressure. Sometimes they hear about a grant, but they only have 3 more weeks for its, the deadline is already there. So they need to be very quick. A blank page problem. So starting from scratch is difficult in any situation. Having a base structure would really help them a lot. And lastly, when you're an expert on a certain topic, that doesn't mean you're an expert in writing. So writing to a jury, that's a different story. So all this brings us to Subsidy Writer. Our solution combines 2 forms of data. data from the local government, basic data, the mission, the vision, the policy plan, so we know the tone of voice of local government, also project details that are already there, so basic data, no new information, and the questionnaire. So we know that a lot of grant funders have portals where we don't have access to, so they can just copy-paste all the questions from a portal and copy-paste them in Word and upload them in our system. We combine this with data from the grant funder, so all the requirements and all important information that is necessary that we already have in our database. This brings us to Subsidy Writer, which automatically generates a draft for the grant application tailored to the funder's expectations. So less work on paperwork and more time for what really matters. So how does this work? So if you found a grant that is really interesting, you fill in the basic information, you fill in the policy plan, you fill in the questionnaire and all documentation you already have. Then you go to step 2, is a check on the requirements. So if some information is missing and it's crucial for this grant application, it will tell you. You have the possibility to answer the questions, give extra information, and upload some extra files. You can evaluate the answer also. Then you can go to step 3, which is the draft that is automatically generated based on all the questions that are in the grant applications. You can edit, work together with colleagues. You see AI tips generated on the right side to help you make the grant application even better. So you can work together. And then when you change something, you can also evaluate the whole document, going back to the requirements to check if you didn't change anything important. Then lastly, you can also download it as a Word document.
Now, technically, what did we use to realize this project? We used 2 models. We used Qwen 2.5 and we used Nomic for embedding. This all ran on LM Studio, hosted on the Mac Studios. And to leverage these models, we used .NET with Microsoft Agentic Framework to create agents specified for the task. We used Neo4j as a graph database for our content and knowledge. And then we used Vite and Vue as front end. We also used Cloud Code to accelerate the development process. Why did we use GraphRag? We used GraphRag because not only the requirements nodes, the relations with the subsidy was important, but also the way we would write the responses to those requirements. That's a very niche thing. We need really a lot of details to be able to write a decent first draft so that the subsidy requester can continue with the document. Now, how did we do it? If you see at the top left, we have our own database, which we used in a data ingestion process with Nomic for embeddings and Qwen 2.5 for entity extraction. Then we stored it in our Neo4j knowledge graph, which we then leveraged in the Subsidy Writer project. The Subsidy Writer project uses 3 agents, a writer agent, a requirement check agent, and an evaluation agent, which all 3 leverage also Qwen 2.532b. But both the writer agent and the requirement agent also leverage the search document tool, which searches the knowledge graph using the Nomic for embedding generation and normal graph search.
Yeah, that's an interesting process. I have a question. How would you evaluate the quality of your solution? So suppose I'm using your system for doing an application for a grant, and I got it with a lot of automation. How can I, do you have any way to evaluate, because you're not on the size of the evaluator, so?
No, we are not on the size of the evaluator, but we can evaluate a little bit for the first draft, which we wouldn't recommend using straight away to submit, but more as a way to not have a blank page and to really start with something instead of nothing. But we can try to reach the best effort as possible by using as much as the writing style from the organization submitting it, And the more context we have, so the more submissions they do through it, the better it can be at writing in their style. So they have less and less work in the end, but still at the end, we cannot evaluate perfectly, and we should also notify the end user of that.
We're also not replacing experts. We're just making it more efficient, the whole process, making it more quicker, and reading the full documents, all the requirements is also more helpful for them, so they have a checklist like we have all the requirements checked, and that's something AI can perfectly do.
Yeah, I do agree for a lot of things that you need to fill in those, for instance, information on your but the key originality of your proposal, which is related to your competence and your expertise, and I can imagine that to some extent you can also automate, that. But this is really the creativity of your proposal. How, this is where I'm really asking the question of evaluation.
That's why we allowed them to change it during the process and rewrite it in their own styles before exporting it.
What do you mean by own style?
So on the last bit of the demo, you could see that the first draft was generated, and each section is editable. So they can modify it and change it to their own needs. And then you can re-go through the process. You can go back to step 2 and then back to step 3 to rewrite it. And it will take their own, the things they wrote, they will take into account and has a more weighted value in the regeneration of a second draft.
Okay. Thank you very much. Arian on stage. Yeah.
La télécommande fonctionne.
Hans?
All right. Hello, everybody. Let me introduce you Arian, our new colleague. I'm here with la Fédération Wallonie-Bruxelles and Ethnic, our public IT provider, and yes, we are hiring. Why? Because we are all compressed and crushed by administrative burden. Everything is complex in Belgium. Despite the fact that we in the Fédération Wallonie-Bruxelles have lots of valued data sources. For example, we have a managed source of 700 administrative procedures which are documented, which are dedicated to specific owners, but it's quite difficult to access all this information. And we then see the place for something, the link between all this information, and we see the link for an agentic AI, which is, who is Arian? And we here in this use case, we made a specific focus on a use case for the first line employee, because they have access to some database, knowledge database, but it's quite difficult. You have someone on the phone, and you have to talk, and you have to look for the right procedure. And that's here, we have Ariane, which sometimes, yes, thank you. She is in front of a desk with the screen with all procedure, and when she's in struggle, she can ask the help of Ariane or chatbot, which is very specific because you don't have to fill in lots of words. You can choose because you're speaking with the citizens. You can choose, for example, here it's an example when someone asks from the support for families and specifically for studies, and she can find by asking different questions, and for example, asking the age of the children they are speaking about, which specific procedure to use to introduce what we call an allocation d'études, so financial support for the study of these children. And at the end of the talk, we are able to send to the citizen a resume of everything we talk about and the precise link to the procedure, if he or she, the citizen, want to do it on his way or want to think about it. So as you see, the real added value is one single place, one chatbot, Arian, which gather all different information data sources. And it allows to give faster answer, Arian and the operator can treat more calls, give better quality of answer, and the citizens are, of course, more satisfied. It's important to be sovereign because in our matter, we have different, very sensitive information like youth help, like les maisons de justice, with electronic bracelet, for example. So we cannot introduce data as we want in AI. The AI agent we tested and we built during the hackathon is extensible because we can reuse the principle. For example, here we made a test to integrate the chatbot in our intranet to answer specific questions for our own employees. For example, advantages or where to find paper to fill in the printer. And I give the word to Arthur to explain a bit more about technical.
Thank you. So I will jump directly to the last part, actually, because how it works is quite common to any AI assistant. There is a request, the AI analysis the request, and then checks in the knowledge base the info, asks for clarification, and then delivers the answer. So basically, just the technology used. We used a conversational AI to gather an input, the MCP agent for the orchestration. The engine of the platform is Qwen LLM 3.5 running on 35 billion parameters. We could have used a smaller one, but as we had good machines, we could run this model. And we have a RAG engine that can information in our knowledge base. Thank you.
Thank you in advance for your question.
Do you have questions?
You want to hire Arian? Or do you want to be hired by Fédération Wallonie-Bruxelles?
Okay. That was crystal clear. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and have a good afternoon.
And we call Rag and Wall on stage.
Tu vas passer les slides. Ah, où tu veux la télécommande? Vas-y. Je vais rester là, moi. Tu sais passer les slides ou pas?
Excusez-moi. Le son. Le son. Le son.
Tu te mets là, alors?
Ok, je peux me mettre.
you care about climate change? Did you care about that? Geraldine has something to tell you.
Okay, so maybe you don't know, but in Wallonia, 50% of energy consumption is the fact of companies. So Wallonia developed mechanisms to support energy efficiency strategy for companies, and one of these mechanisms is called energy audit, which can help to spare around 10 to 30% of energy. So a big city like Lyon, for example, in terms of electricity consumption for 1 year.
Okay, Geraldine, but what's the real problem?
So the real problem is that the number of files that we receive these audits is increasing, but the number of colleagues is decreasing, and the treatment delays are increasing. So everybody is upset, civil servant, but also our end users.
Okay, what I suggest is that we give to all those officers, your colleagues, a version of Gemini, for example. They use that for getting PDFs, and they get their analysis done. Is that okay?
Are you really serious?
No.
What about the data of our companies in Wallonia? And we need something business-oriented. Really, we need to go straight to the point.
Yeah, I was joking. And you know, guys, behind there, they're hiding. We have a team of developers, AI experts, and they built with me and with Geraldine a nice prototype. It's just a prototype, but with a web interface, with document processing, chunking the documents we receive from the companies, with checking criteria. So we have 2 LLMs that can do the job for that, and based on that, we have documents that the Geraldine team is providing with all the methodology rules and all the rules and compliance check. I think it's good, no? What do you think?
I don't know, I'm from business, so I want something simple. You see, this is the complexity we are facing, because it's really a work of experts. So how do you think you can handle that?
Okay, I will show you. So what we've built, and sorry for the browse, because the companies it's quite confidential that work that. So your colleagues can choose a report. It's 100 page, I think, upload in the solution. And first, the solution will check the document, will conformity check with the template you provide to us, and so that we can have a compliance assessment. So you see that companies, okay, with some of them, it's not really good for everything, but your colleague will have to check that with the tool, and will have to accelerate the work. Here you can have a review of the criteria because we have added your methodology into the tool, and then get all the criteria. You see administrative data, executive summary, and everything. So I think, what do you think? It's quite easy to use, and we are happy with that first prototype.
Yeah, for sure. I understand a bit better. So you mean that that solution will help us to validate faster our documents with the right explanation to the end user. We will use a secure infrastructure, so we protect the data, and we have an intuitive interface, so we don't need to train too much the colleagues. So that means that, okay, they will gain time for added value tasks, and end user gets the incentive faster. So, but that's it.
Okay, you're not easy to please. What we plan to do with the future teams and with maybe some people from the jury help coding us, doing some user testing. It's important with your colleagues, doing some industrialization with scalability, and we want to add new rules, new expert rules, energy rules into the knowledge base. We think we can also inject the past comments of your colleagues into the solution. And so, what do you think, guys? Are you happy and want to join our coding party? Please, join with us. And I want all the musicians to come here, all the guys there. They will also. Any question? Rock and roll question, please.
It's not a rock and roll question. It's it's a ragtime question. So it's another kind of it's another kind of music. It's less noisy, more jazzy. But anyway, I wanted to know, because a lot of your report seems to have contain a lot of pictures, photos. I guess this is important. Do you have the right tools in order to analyze that, not just text, but also the pictures and the photos? And how do you do that?
Yes, we make this with Docklink, and Docklink is combined with an OCR, and so the OCR can take also some input, some text. Yeah, and afterward, the text will.
The pictures in your report, for instance. Because it's about energy, no? So I mean, you may have in your report a lot of.
Yes, we have tables.
It's mainly text. It's mainly
tables. Docklink is analyzing the report.
Yeah, but I saw in the slide you've shown there was a lot of pictures also. I was surprised to see the numbers of pictures inside. So I guess when you want to analyze a building,
you're right. That's the next step. For this prototype, of course, we haven't done that. We will. That's one of the next steps. Maybe your academy will help us. I don't know. We hope so. But no, we have done that in 2 days. Yeah, exactly.
Actually, there is 6 criteria to check to validate the audit report. Here we started with 2 criteria. One, to check the conformity to the template of the report, and the next one is the history of the energy consumption during the last 3 years. And here we are managing tables, but we need to manage to check the images in the 6 criteria in order to interpret all the data that are mentioned in the report.
But we only had 2 days.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
And we welcome Control FIA, Control Plus.
Merci pour la régie.
Oui.
Vous allez lancer votre vidéo vous-même.
Je vais la lancer moi-même.
Et est-ce qu'il y a de l'audio dedans?
Il n'y en a pas.
Merci. Je dois encore le mettre là. Ok. Le pointeur fonctionne là aussi. Voilà, allez.
Ok.
Okay, let's start. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, here and online. So I'm Stephanie, and this is Sixth Street, and we are here to present the work that has been done by the team Control plus FIA. So, do you see? Yeah, you see my screen. So this project that we are presenting is about taking public data and structure it to have risk insights. In practice, it's more like taking a big data dump and trying to structure it. So the FIA is the service that is responsible for the internal audit for the government. So this is a very, very big audit universe. We have to do a risk analysis for our audit planning over 46 organizations, SPFs, SPP, SACA, and so on, and over 160 core activities, control, HR, and so on and so on. So that's a lot, and there is a lot of information that is scattered everywhere. So there are things on the websites of those organizations, their reports, sometimes press release, sometimes presentations, PowerPoints. So it is an enormous, gigantic treasure of information, but completely scattered. So our challenge is that currently we have a dedicated team of risk analysts that spend 170 work days per cycle, per year, to analyze this, and half of that time, so 85 days, it spends just searching for the information about the risk. So it's very time-consuming, it's a manual analysis, a lot of reading, and as it is a team, sometimes they may have a different approach across analysts. And so it's not completely, fully harmonized in the way it is done. So our idea is to take all this public data. So for our test here, we have taken the documents out of the website of one of our organizations. So 2,000 files in the end after doing the web scraping in French, in Netherlands. And we are using our new tool to get structured risk insights, so structured information from those documents that are pertinent to find the risks that will help us do a better planning for the audits. Go and really see what are the risks that are the most impactful, the most probable, and the one that we should see first in the organization. So here you have the small graph about the steps. So extract information, structure it, link it to risk. I'm not going to detail every part of it right now, but we can go back about it during the questions if you want. What we built. So we took the public data through web scraping, 2,000 and plus documents. We used a RAG system, so we used an AI-based processing to get a searchable data of what we call chunks. So piece of text, it could be one paragraph out of a report or minutes of a meeting that we have that talk about something that is really relevant to one type of risk. So we have 160 activities, and each of them need to be assessed into 16 types of risk. So imagine the matrix, 160 times 16. And with that, we will get the structured data sets of those chunks. So all the little bits in all those documents that talk about this risk and that risk in that context, that activity, and so on. We used Python, Mistral, Streamlit, and Power BI for the book. So what we get now is extracted insights, so extracted piece of text, chunks. We have categorized them based on the activity category, what we call an auditable unit, UA, unit auditable. We have also categorized them through the risk categories, so the 16 type of risk, operational risk, ethics risk, and so on. And we have linked to each one of those little pieces of text their source. So we have the document, we have the page where the piece comes from, and we have the date where we got the document, the date of the document. So our team can go, and when they check one of this piece of text, they can go and check the original document to check if it's really what it's talked about in the document. It will be run locally, securely, for our system, and I realized that I went far too quickly. Not quickly live. I'm really sorry, Siegfried. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna stop.
Do you want to have the demo and no question? Okay.
It can go without commentary. Do you have questions?
Maybe the demo.
Yeah, the demo.
With the demo.
It is playing, but it's not on the screen. Like, yeah, I don't see you.
The mic is not working. Use this one.
Okay. Yeah, so, but we don't. I see the video here, but it's not on the screen, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you see it? Okay, that's great. So this is, yeah, a dashboard that we will build. Actually, our risk analysis team would be able to use this tomorrow, and even myself, because the use case that we used is an organization that I don't see it on the screen. Actually, are you sure? No, mais no. Now it's playing there, but it doesn't agree with what's on my screen. Okay, now you start to see it. I see it. Okay, so yeah. The risk analysis team would be able to search for it, whatever they want, but actually at this level, it's not. I could use it myself as an auditor as well to see what's available in our database. And then it will just do a classical RAG. We can increase the number of received chunks if you want, filter on metadata that we now adjusted to just this specific use case. But I could use it tomorrow because I happen to be doing an audit there. We can see what is oh yeah, this doesn't align. So then, there is a chunk summary. This one is now optimized for the risk analysis team. So this is where we put a specific prompt in a small language model. For example, we tested different models. And later on, there is also, you see, Ask the LLM, so you can just ask any question you would like there anyway. So I could use this field to ask a question to the language model. It's Mistral, in this case, the reasoning model that's provided on the Mac Studios. And then we added additional functionality to finish our project for the risk analysis team, so they can actually export an Excel out of this that is integrated into their Power BI. This will show up later. We kept it basic. We could ask our friends from Entity to do a lot more, but for us it was really important that we can actually use this structure tomorrow, and I think this would be possible. So we already wrote some code that runs on my own work PC. So all I have to do to make it work tomorrow is just return to models that are already on my PC, and it should work. Right? So we added this interface with help of the experts, but the search algorithm is essentially still the same. We added a new way of chunking with the help of Entity, which also uses an embedding that was available on the Mac Studio. So we tried a different embedding, different way of chunking. We tried different re-rankers. We really took advantage of the Mac Studio to test different models and see what would be manageable in the future. Yeah, now you see the integration into their dashboard, right? So there you can see that the risk analysis team would have a summary that is provided with all the information that has been found in the documents. That's to finish an automated workflow for them. But again, I could also already use this tomorrow in a little more ad hoc way with asking questions.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, we directly call Sparks.
I think the presentation. Yeah. Will be next week to you. You show your video. Yes, it's integrated in the presentation.
Okay, great.
Which version?
There's no audio on it? No. There's no audio? Yeah, there's no audio on video. We will give explanation while it's running. Yes.
Who has the pointer?
Yeah, isn't it?
It's active. Yeah, okay. Success.
Thank you.
Okay, ready?
Stand there? No. For the stream? We're outside of the screen. Okay.
Hello, I am Madia from Federal Pension Service. I'm not English influent, but I will do my best. Do you know how much costs the social fraud in Belgium? No idea? More than 400 million in social fraud is committed every year in Belgium. This bill... ça marche pas. No. Sorry, the pointer doesn't work.
It's not anything. Yes, it's frozen.
It's frozen.
Hold on a second. Yeah, but we can also not move on the presentation. Oh,
Okay.
No, it works.
I continue. So more than 400 million in social fraud is committed every year in Belgium. This bill is paid by all citizens who contribute to our social security system. This bill is paid by you and me. I'm not sure about you, but as for me, yes. To prevent this, the Pension Service carries out two major controls. First, we verify the situation of 230,000 people living abroad who receive a pension. Second, we check the 120,000 GEIP beneficiaries to ensure they reside continuously in Belgium and do not exceed the allowed number of days abroad. Today, these controls cost to the Pension Service over 1 million per year only in letters and registered mails. It's inefficient, expensive, and stressful for citizens. So we developed VivaCheck, a new feature that makes the process simpler, faster and fairer. Okay. So we developed VivaCheck, a new feature that makes the process simpler, faster, and fairer. No, it's a problem with it. We added facial recognition and geolocation to the existing mygov.be app. mygov.be app already lets citizens generate official documents, among other things. With this great upgrade, it becomes the essential tool for all institutions paying benefits abroad or managing social advantage in Belgium. A solution that reduces costs, eliminates unnecessary travel, and guarantees accurate payments. This is the future of secure, citizen-friendly social protection. Let's make it happen.
So now for the demo. Imagine I'm someone very old that needs to verify that I need to do a check because I'm abroad to verify that I'm still alive. So I first give my consent. I can ask a little rack system any question about how my data is used. Then there's first a small liveness check where we will check my expression and face movement to see if I'm not using a picture. A little voice check. And then my identity is verified. Here it's correct, it's me, so it passed. But now imagine that a relative of mine, my son, would like to fraud and get pension money because I died and just didn't declare it. So he would maybe try to first take my phone, do all the checks, use his face because with the picture it wouldn't pass the liveness test. And and at the end, you would see that it didn't work because it's not the correct face. But now, with the technology advancing, with deepfakes, it becomes easier and easier to fraud these systems. So we used a Mistral model that can process images in order to detect features in the video that represent, that look like, it detects features in the image that can look like it was taken on the screen. So like depth of field, some artifacts, and we use the Mistral model to give a reasoning and verify for each image sampled if it's correct. And as you can see, we have, even without fine-tuning it, it worked, but it could be improved with fine-tuning even further. Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions, Kimberly?
Yeah.
I'd like to ask a rapid question, and I'll give you. Whenever you touch facial recognition and fraud detection, you absolutely raise a lot of ethical issue that you haven't absolutely addressed there. But you know, facial recognition with technology has been prohibited in some regulations, etc. So, and you didn't touch that, but how do you touch the ethical purpose? Because one of the problems of facial recognition that has been well identified by scientists is discrimination. There are some faces that are very badly discriminated. Some population, for instance, black people, have been shown in facial recognition to be badly discriminated. Are you dealing with those ethical issues?
Well, regarding the matching itself, here we match against data we already have, like it's would be integrated into MyGov, so they would have your ID picture. So you would match against your own image, so there is no. The impact of discriminative features would be more limited. And regarding compliance with all this regulation, it would be just verifying, it's not identification. And even if it doesn't work with the phone app, there's still the old way of doing things that's still available. So And most of the processing, we wanted to be done on the phone, so we selected only very small models that would run locally on the edge. So small 4 billion and quantized model and even smaller ones to really minimize security, these type of issues.
Kimberly?
I heard you mention the elderly or old people as a target group, but the only doubt I have there is that those people are typically the ones that are not used to using applications or phones. I'm a bit concerned whether this target group will be able to use this.
In Spain, this application, but only with facial recognition and only for pensioner, not for other things. There are more than 90% people that have uploading the app use it. And they have to all people because it's pensioners. So we think it works in other countries. There is no problem with this. Because for someone that lives in a foreign country, it is easier for them to make this recognition than to go to an embassy or something like this. And so they can go in holidays and they don't fear that receive the life certificate and don't be home. Because if we don't receive it in a time, we will stop the payments. So it's very good for the pensioner.
Okay, thank you. And we will welcome Fodazo on stage.
Hallo.
Hallo.
Spreekt u Nederlands?
Ja.
Goed, dit is het voor de pointers. Wacht even. Kan ik?
En dan dit.
Hebben we een video?
Ja, we hebben een
video. Zit hij erin in de
Ja.
presentatie? Zit er audio op de video?
Ja.
Dat hoeft niet. Maar kan hem plat spelen?
Mag vrees
stil.
stil, zodat hij erboven kan praten.
Ja, ik zal wel wat proeven, geen probleem.
De micro is vermogen.
Ja, voilà. Kun je wel langs die kant gaan staan, maar anders zit het buiten beeld. Op die klikker tasten. Yes. Ja, dan de micro werkt. Ja. Alsjeblieft.
Wij gaan eigenlijk bedienen hier via de beeldjes.
Alsjeblieft.
Dank u wel.
Succes.
Als er vragen zijn, technische vragen, mag ook antwoorden. Ja. Maar ik denk dat jij hebt. Dat is goed.
Hallo. Ja. Ik zal de presentatie in het Nederlands doen. Goedenavond iedereen. Goedenavond aan de miljoenen subscribers op YouTube. Ik wil niet viraal gaan, dus doe ik het Nederlands. Maar ik zie dat er ook live vertaling is, dus we kunnen vertrekken. Ik ben arbeidsinspecteur bij Toezicht Sociale Wetten, al 15 jaar. En ik erger me heel erg aan de administratieve last die met de jaren is bijgekomen. Dit is hier één dossier die ik doe in de zeevisserij. En het zijn er zo 200 per jaar die ik moet doen. Een heel pak dossier. Wat heb ik ontworpen samen met mijn team? Dat is een tool die eigenlijk ervoor zorgt dat die administratieve last wat een beetje wegvalt. Het is zo dat TSW, Toezicht Sociale Wetten, heel vaak te maken heeft met complexe wetgeving, complexe documenten ook, heel veel messy data, handgeschreven documenten, contracten die handgeschreven zijn, tijdsregistratie en tabellen, handgeschreven, slechte scans, heel veel privacygevoelige data, wat erop neerkomt dat wij soms 3 à 5 dagen bezig zijn om één dossier te verwerken. Dat zorgt er ook voor dat er heel weinig tijd overblijft om de echte sociale fraude aan te pakken. We hebben beperkte middelen. We zijn ook een federale overheidsdienst. En het zijn budgetair heel moeilijke tijden, waardoor de staat heel veel inkomsten verliest. Ja. Dus ik heb een tool gemaakt en ik heb dat proberen af te bakenen, omdat Sociale Wetten is bevoegd om heel veel sectoren te doen. Dus heb ik gekozen om de zeevisserijsector te doen. Dat is een specifieke sector. Dus de vissersboten vertrekken en doen een controle en gaan vissen. En nadien worden ze gecontroleerd door mij. En dat zijn de dossiers die ik altijd krijg. Het is een beetje zwaar. Ik ga een beetje neerleggen. Dus heel veel volume, heel veel administratie. Waarom de zeevisserij? Omdat het een heel sociale fraude gevoelige sector is. En het is heel moeilijk om die dossiers te controleren. Ja. Wat doe ik? Heel simpel. Ik zal de documenten opladen in het systeem. Alles wordt omgezet in tabellen, JSON's en Excel. Er wordt een compliance check gedaan met de RAG, die 100% accuraat is. Laten we zeggen 99%, er is niks 100%. En nadien wordt er een mooi rapport gegenereerd van ongeveer 30 à 35 pagina's. Naast dat rapport is er een PDF-rapport, maar ook een Excel-bestand. Ja. Ik zal nu een kleine demo tonen. Zoals je kunt zien, dat zijn de documenten die je krijgt. Die worden dan geparsed, omgezet in Excel. Voilà, alles is geclassificeerd. De extractie draait nu. Dat neemt 30 seconden voor 400 pagina's. Alle mooie pdf's gaan nu naar Excels. En nu de legal compliance. De RAG wordt hierin gezet. En zoals je kunt zien, 98% compliance. Dus is voor 98% goed bezig. En nu het inspectierapport. Wat dat belangrijk is aan dit systeem, is dat alles verifieerbaar is. Dus de RAG gaat de chunks gaan ophalen met het juiste artikelnummer, met paragraaf en lidnummer. En nadien kan de inspecteur nog altijd gaan controleren of het al dan niet verifieerbaar is. Waarom is dat gemakkelijk voor mij om dit soort tools te maken? Omdat ik mijn wetgeving ken. Ik kan onmiddellijk zien of er een fout is in het systeem en die kan ik heel snel gaan corrigeren. Je ziet ook foutconstatering, wanneer is er sprake van inbreuk en perfecte bronvermelding en waar de bron zich situeert. Dus alles is nadien ook heel verifieerbaar. Dit is een tool dat werkt. Ik gebruik deze tool al een aantal maanden. Waar ik vroeger 3-4 dagen deed om een dossier te behandelen, doe ik nu maar een dag over. Mijn baas weet dat nog niet, dus misschien had hij dat vandaag wel weten. Maar dat is wel iets dat echt werkt. Voilà, dat was kort en bondig. Dus mijn vaststelling zijn, omdat ik het gebruik al sinds een aantal maanden ook, is dat ik echt tot 60% van mijn tijd hiermee win. Het is volledig lokaal en het draait echt op een heel klein model. Ik heb thuis een gaming PC. Quinn 14B draait er perfect op. Het is de bedoeling dat een inspecteur daar ook mee weg kan. Als ik ermee weg kan, kan iedereen dat doen. Ik heb geen technische achtergrond. Ik heb dat, om eerlijk te zijn, toen ik hoorde van Python 3 maanden geleden, dacht ik gewoon aan één grote slang. Dus ik wist zelf niet wat Python was. Vandaag sta ik hier, samen met mijn team, hebben we echt een applicatie gebouwd. Gewoon door heel creatief om te gaan met alle AI-tools die momenteel ter beschikking zijn. Oké, dank u wel.
Heeft de jury vraag?
Wat zie je als de volgende stap?
De volgende stap is voor mij om te gaan upscalen naar andere sectoren. Nu is dat enkel specifiek op de zeevisserijsector. Die hebben een eigen wetgeving, eigen cao's. Maar als je een aantal dingen wijzigt, zoals de RAG wijzigt naar een andere sector, bijvoorbeeld de bouwsector, met hun eigen cao's, eigen wetgeving, kun je die checks ook perfect doen. En dat zal ook werken.
Ik hoorde u zeggen, ik gebruik de tool ondertussen een paar maanden.
Ja.
Top. Kunnen jullie specifiëren wat dat jullie deze 3 dagen gedaan hebben, zodat we objectief kunnen quoteren?
Ja, zeker. Deze 3 dagen, omdat er een aantal specialisten erbij zijn gekomen, de mensen die echt dagelijks daarmee bezig zijn. Ik ben van het werkveld. Ik heb het zelf een beetje gevibecoded. Deze mensen hebben me heel erg geholpen om een aantal bugs te gaan eruit halen. Bijvoorbeeld verwijst naar artikelnummer, maar je vergat bijvoorbeeld het paragraaf. We hebben dat gefixt, zodat het paragraaf ook op vermeld staat. Ook het lidnummer erop vermeld staat. Een aantal checks ook op de interface in Streamlit hebben we ook kunnen fine-tunen dankzij deze mensen. Dus in deze 3 dagen hebben we echt heel veel werk gestoken in het fine-tunen van de tool. Maar het was al inzendbaar, maar het moest nog een beetje... de scherpe kantjes moesten er nog vanaf.
Just for your Python culture, I just had the chance, I think 30 years ago, to discuss with Guido van Rossum, the inventor of Python. And he told me that he had just 1 hour in order to decide about the name, and because he was a fan of Monty Python, this famous English humor band, he decided to call it Python. There is no other reason, just being a fan of Monty Python.
Okay.
It's not a snake, it's nothing else.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Dank u wel.
And now the last team, last but not least, AGPR.
Deze kant, deze kant.
Ik start de video of jullie?
Jullie hebben, jullie hebben de video, hè?
Nu omdat iedereen
fera un
bij
petit
het
signe à Yann pour la vidéo. C'est lui qui fera le signe à Yann.
Oui, oui, oui. J'ai bien noté, mais...
Ouais. On a pris... non, il y a des privés, secteur privé, secteur public, académique.
Reste ici.
Et
Ja, blijf daar.
c'est l'académique, c'est Hugues Versini. Putain, plus jamais ça. Je peux pas parler. C'est vraiment horrible.
Ja, maar het is daar dus dat er een landscape staat.
Il faut que tu mettes...
C'est un bon jury.
Où est-ce qu'on change ça?
Moet hem op duplicate zetten.
Oui. Oui, oui, tout à fait.
Hier is een strongball.
So, hello? Okay. After the last presentation, please stay in the room. We will compute the results quite fast. So just 2 minutes to have the results, and the jury have to sign the diplomas. So stay here, and the cocktail is afterwards.
Een laptop op koel, zeker?
Et donne les feuilles, oui. Attends, prends tes feuilles en main parce que ça va pas ici pour l'instant.
C'est bien branché.
Bon, kan je het katans proberen u zijn toch de laatste rechtstreeks aansluiten? Misschien niet de moeite met dat switchje, dat zou kunnen.
Is dat een probleem? Daar straks in, hè?
Daar straks, ja, we hebben het nog deze middag geprobeerd.
Anders pakken we een andere laptop, hè?
Maar het is net nieuw dat we het geprobeerd hebben, het is altijd niet meer.
Gewoon een keer gaan kijken wat er is los.
Ja.
Zal nog maar aansluiten, ik snap het niet. Ik vraag verder.
Si on fait Windows P, ça fait pas...
Je sais pas si on m'entend. Et donc en fait j'ai demandé, tu vois, à Christine, parce qu'elle c'est une ancienne elle est la responsable d'innovation à l'intérieur, j'ai demandé au Faux d'économie parce que j'essaie de collaborer.
Oui, sinon vous vous installez là et vous revenez après quand...
On m'entend.
Tu te mets près du micro? Tu dois te mettre près du micro, Gaylor.
Ah oui, ok, ici. Ah, attendez, c'est mes feuilles.
C'est moi qui vais le faire ici avec l'ordinateur. Merci.
Bonjour, nous sommes l'équipe AGPR du SPA Finance. Wij zorgen voor de inningen en de invorderingen van de belastingen. En tijdens deze hackathon werden wij ondersteund door 3 ontwikkelaars van IBM en Red Hat.
Alors, avant de vous parler de FinCall, je vais vous poser une question simple. En tant que citoyen, est-ce que vous avez déjà eu l'impression d'être considéré comme un nombre et pas comme une personne lorsque vous contactiez une administration? Eh bien, comment dire, à côté de ça, ce que je vais vous dire, c'est que les collaborateurs qui sont au bout du fil, ils ressentent aussi cette même frustration. Parce que derrière, ils doivent parfois gérer des situations qui sont difficiles, qui sont stressantes, et pour lesquelles, au final, le seul outil qu'ils ont, c'est leur bonne volonté. C'est une réalité, personne n'est responsable, et c'est justement à ce besoin qu'on a voulu répondre avec FinCall. FinCall, c'est quoi? C'est un assistant IA qui transcrit et qui analyse l'appel en temps réel en tenant compte de nos processus internes, mais également de la dimension émotionnelle du citoyen, afin de pouvoir guider les collaborateurs à une meilleure recommandation en fonction de telle ou de telle situation. Cerise sur le gâteau, c'est que FinCall permet d'automatiser les tâches administratives qui sont liées à l'after callback. On a un gain de temps et d'énergie qui est énorme. Et si on testait ensemble, finalement, un appel avec FinCall.
SPF Finance, bonjour. En quoi puis-je vous aider?
Je suis bien au service des remboursements? Ça fait une demi-heure que je suis baladée d'un service à l'autre. J'espère que vous allez enfin pouvoir m'aider.
Oui, tout à fait. Je vais faire mon possible pour vous aider, monsieur. Pourriez-vous me communiquer votre numéro national?
Je l'ai déjà communiqué à votre collègue qui m'a transféré.
Merci de toutefois me le communiquer à nouveau, s'il vous plaît.
83 07 25 410 109.
Quel est votre nom?
Pierre Jacques.
En quoi puis-je vous être utile?
Je n'ai pas reçu mon remboursement fin février alors que c'était écrit sur le document de mes impôts. On est le 17 mars et je n'ai toujours rien reçu. Quand c'est pour nous demander de payer, vous êtes les premiers, mais quand c'est pour nous rendre de l'argent, là il faut venir pleurer pour récupérer son argent.
Je vais consulter votre dossier, un petit instant. En effet, nous n'avions pas votre numéro de compte dans notre base de données. Vous pouvez changer votre numéro de compte via MyMinFin. Vous aurez besoin soit de l'application It's Me, soit d'un lecteur de carte d'identité. Vous pouvez aussi utiliser notre formulaire en ligne sur le site fin.belgium.be via le bouton Contact ou nous envoyer un courrier postal adressé au SPF Finance, avenue du Prince de Liège 133, boîte 282 à 5100 Namur. Attention de bien nous fournir un relevé d'identité bancaire. Savez-vous ce qu'est un relevé d'identité bancaire?
Oui, c'est bon, je sais.
Au plus vite nous recevons votre relevé d'identité bancaire, au plus vite nous pouvons traiter votre remboursement.
Et je vais recevoir quand mon argent?
Après réception du document, le remboursement se fera dans les 15 jours.
Ok.
Je vous souhaite une bonne journée, monsieur.
Salut.
Wat is nu de toegevoegde waarde van FinCall voor onze klant, de burger? Wel, de burger gaat hoofdzakelijk een beter antwoord op zijn vraag krijgen. Dat antwoord zal op maat zijn en zal leiden tot een hogere tevredenheidsgraad. Ten slotte gaat de burger ook sneller geholpen kunnen worden, wat de wachtrijen doet afnemen.
Ook voor onze medewerkers zijn er heel wat voordelen. Op dit moment spenderen ze heel veel tijd aan het noteren van informatie, wat hier eigenlijk volledig geautomatiseerd wordt. Daardoor daalt hun werklast. FinCall zal hen bovendien begeleiden gedurende heel het gesprek. Ze krijgen de historiek van het dossier te zien en er wordt een analyse gemaakt van de toon en van de inhoud van het gesprek. Op basis van dit alles en van onze werkprocedures zullen er aanbevelingen in real-time getoond worden aan de medewerker, zodat hij vlot begeleid wordt voor de verdere afhandeling van de call. Dus dat zal er ook voor zorgen dat ze minder stress ervaren bij hun werk.
La valeur ajoutée de notre solution FinCall est l'amélioration de notre image suite à des réponses rapides et correctes. En 2025, nous avons eu plus de 4 millions d'appels, ce qui fait de nous, quand même, le service public le plus populaire du pays. FinCall offre un gain de 1 minute par appel. Ceci représente environ 53 ETP par an qui pourraient être attribués à d'autres tâches. FinCall apporte également un meilleur monitoring de notre prestation de service.
En tant que service public, nous croyons que le bien-être des collaborateurs, ainsi que nous croyons au bien-être des collaborateurs et nous croyons que chaque citoyen mérite une réponse qui soit sur mesure et qui soit adaptée à son état d'esprit. FinCall, ce n'est pas seulement un investissement dans une technologie pour remplacer l'humain, mais plutôt pour le soutenir. Ce qu'on a voulu construire, c'est un outil qui nous paraît fondamental, c'est un outil basé sur une relation de confiance. Merci de votre attention. Ça, c'est toi à la seconde.
Any questions of the jury?
Juste une petite question, est-ce que dans la simulation que vous avez montrée, vous analysez la voix et puis vous analysez voilà, je dirais l'état émotionnel de l'appelant? C'est quelle technologie que vous utilisez pour ça?
On utilise justement des LLM en dessous. Donc on a un moteur d'inférence. Donc là on a utilisé l'IM Studio, mais ça fonctionne aussi avec VLLM. Et on a testé avec différentes technologies de LLM, notamment Mistral et Granite. Et pour la partie transcription, comme il y a un challenge en termes de temps réel, on a testé avec GLLM et on a testé avec IBM Granite transcription, qui est un tout petit modèle d'1 milliard de paramètres.
Oui, mais vous parliez de l'état émotionnel, donc la voix, le ton de la voix et tout ça. Donc les LLM vous donne ce type d'informations aussi?
Exact. Donc on utilise une technique de dérivation pour la transcription et le LLM va
va déduire le ton selon la conversation entre les deux speakers.
Ah oui, donc c'est selon le sujet de la conversation, pas
Exact.
vraiment selon le ton de la voix.
Pas dans cette version-ci, mais c'est quelque chose qui pourrait être fait dans le futur.
Ah oui, d'accord. Ok.
Là, on s'est basé sur le texte, mais on peut utiliser un LLM préentraîné qui utilise l'audio directement.
Oui, là, il y a des technologies
Oui, tout à fait.
audio pour pouvoir savoir
Tout à
si la
fait.
personne est en colère ou est bien lunée ou pas. Vous imaginez un demain, parce que c'est encore une personne qui répond sur base de... Vous ne voulez pas automatiser la procédure, vous respectez le côté où vous imaginez pouvoir... que la personne répondante devienne
Non, parce que,
une IA
En fait, c'est un peu ce que j'ai dit dans la conclusion. Ce qu'on met en place ici, c'est quelque chose qui vient soutenir l'humain et pas pour venir le remplacer. Parce que derrière, il doit toujours y avoir une analyse et toujours une fibre humaine.
Oui, enfin, c'est peut-être une cause perdue, parce que moi, j'ai eu un problème de remboursement d'un billet d'avion chez EasyJet, là, et ça s'est fait uniquement avec une IA vocale. J'ai pas vu d'humain du tout, donc...
Mais
c'était pas mal, en fait.
Si vous aviez eu un humain, vous auriez été remboursé.
Si, c'est vrai. Oui, c'est ça, mais il y a beaucoup de démissions. Voilà, bon.
Ik heb misschien nog een AI-act gerelateerde vraag. Ik heb dat nu net ook besproken met een collega naast mij. Normaal gezien gelden er bepaalde transparantieverplichtingen. Als je bijvoorbeeld met een chatbot zou spreken, dan weet je van oké, ik ben met AI aan het spreken. Maar nu word je eigenlijk een beetje belogen, want er zit wel AI achter, maar je weet dat niet als gebruiker of als klant die belt. Hoe zien jullie daar tegenop? Gaan jullie melden van onze antwoorden zijn eigenlijk deels AI gebaseerd? Of?
Als ik mag. Dus, technisch gezien, er is eigenlijk niet zoveel verschil met het opzoeken van documentatie manueel. Het resultaat is hier hetzelfde.
Maar je beslist, de persoon aan de andere kant van de telefoon moet heel snel beslissen om een antwoord te geven op basis van wat AI u geeft.
Het zijn gewoon aanbevelingen. Dus het moet niet een definitief antwoord zijn, de agent aan de phone, maar steeds beslissen, oké, dit antwoord is niet genoeg, ik zal meer informatie geven.
Het blijven suggesties dat de AI doet. Er is geen enkele verplichting om enkel en alleen of rechtstreeks het antwoord van de AI.
Effectiviteit, ik denk dat je heel snel, als je aan de telefoon bent, live, daar heel snel op gaat baseren en niet de tijd hebt om na te denken van wil ik me hierop baseren. Dat is eigenlijk mijn vraag. Meer ethisch ook.
Momenteel moeten ze dat verspreid over verschillende applicaties en databanken gaan zoeken. En als dat dan gecentraliseerd aangeboden kan worden, denken wij wel dat dat een meerwaarde kan zijn.
Maar jullie hebben erover nagedacht. Oké. Dank u wel.
Aléatoire. commentaire important. Alors, donc, il y a quand même un commentaire important, c'est que oui, le faux d'oiseau, c'était un truc qui était... Ils n'ont pas gagné après. Ok. On le met en prix 1, quoi. Premier prix. Il suffit de le mettre en prix 1 en disant qu'ils ont gagné tout et ils ont remporté tout. C'est qui les... Avec le rock'n'roll? Avec... Pardon. Ouais. Je fais signer les diplômes? Hein? Bon, on va donner à 3 personnes différentes. Là. D'accord. Donc ça, c'est pour Hugues. Oui. Mais vais donner à Hugues. Je vais appeler sur 3 personnes différentes, non? Oui, tu vois. Oui, oui, je commencerai par le 3. Et on fait signer les diplômes ou pas? Non? Tu veux bien remettre ça? Je t'appellerai. Hein. C'est le best presentation. Tu veux bien remettre ça? Et Hugues, tu remets le premier prix? Ouais, ouais. Just a few seconds. Yeah? Yeah? Allô, allô? Allô, allô? So, just a few seconds before the results, I will welcome on stage Christine Kopers, Director of Innovation of the Ministry of Interior and my former boss. So, who has won the best presentation?
This is really an Oscar moment. And the winner is Rag and Wall and AGPR.
So two winners are Rag and Wall and AGPR.
Yes.
Now you can come on stage. Wait a minute. And AGPR. Yeah.
Merci.
Vous voulez 2 photos? Do you want 2? Great. A big applause. So let's go this way and receive your biscuits. And now for the most innovative solution, I call Caroline van den Plas, managing partner of B12 branch of Yuma.
And the winner is Whack and Roll and Whack Dogs.
Tu peux donner. Merci. And finally, for the best technical implementation, I call Professor Hugues Bersini from ULB, founder of the FARI AI for the Common Good Institute, and also my former boss.
So it sounds like a Grammy Award because rock and roll is very successful these days because the winner is rock and roll. Décidément.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Je vous en prie, bien joué.
Merci beaucoup, Tanel. Merci. C'est le riff de guitare qui a séduit.
Bravo.
Merci,
Okay.
merci tout le monde. Merci.
So just to end, congratulations to all the teams because they were really impressive results. You have all of you receive a diploma to attest that you attended the hackathon and you survived the hackathon. And I welcome you to the cocktail next door. Thank you very much.